Welcome to Phil Gordon's podcast from the 2005 World Series of Poker, brought to you by ExpertInsight.com. Phil is co-host of Bravo's Celebrity Poker Showdown, a two-time World Poker Tour champion and noted author. For more insight into the mind of a true poker champion, visit www.expertinsight.com.
All right, this is the $2,500 six-handed no-limit hold'em event on Monday, and I'm walking after the first level down with Howard Lederer. And Howard, what kind of strategy differences do you have to take to this event? Only six-handed as opposed to a full 10-handed game.
Well, the strategy change that I make is I just sort of imagine that I'm playing at a 10-handed table, but 4 people have folded before it's my turn to act every hand. I mean, that's the way you have to play it. So the worst position you can be in is essentially middle position at a full table.
Okay, so you're going to have to play a lot more hands, right? I mean, you can't sit back and just wait, especially with only 2,500 in chips. I mean, have you gambled it up at all so far? Ace King versus a pocket pair, or?
I haven't taken any races yet. Yes, you do have to play a lot more hands, but I think that's good for the good player.
Yeah.
Because you get to make more decisions per hour, and so the more good decisions you make at a poker table, the better you do.
Right.
But certainly these World Series structures are fast. But when you consider that we're playing, 30 or so events in a 40-day stretch, I don't mind that we're going to have some quick days. You're going to be out here at 2 o'clock. But the nice thing about these structures, they're fast early, but once you get a hold of some chips and it's like 4, 5, 6 o'clock at night and you're playing for some real money at that point, the structure slows down. So either get knocked out earlier or you're playing in a great regular tournament.
Have you had any success thus far? You've played every tournament since Friday, right?
I have not cashed yet. I've made it to 2 dinner breaks, but I haven't gotten but I haven't gotten to the money yet.
And how many chips do you have right now in this event?
About 3,000.
All right, thanks, Howard. All right, this is a real pleasure. I'm joined by Alan Cunningham, who just won the very first event of the World Series of Poker. It was a $1,500 buy-in, no-limit hold'em with how many people, Alan?
Just over 2,300. Nothing big.
Nothing serious. That's quite an accomplishment. That's Alan's third bracelet, I believe. He won a deuce to 7, and he's also won a 7-stud event. This is his first World Series of Poker hold'em title. But everyone knows that Alan can play all the games. He's one of the big cash players that just kills all the cash games, almost everyone. What's your worst game? Everyone wants to know what your worst game is.
I'm going to have to say my worst game is stud high-low without a qualifier, or maybe Raz, although I think I'm pretty good at both of those. Those are my worst games.
And your best game?
My best game is all the rest. Hold'em is
How about your favorite then?
Hold'em and stud are my best games, I think. No limit or limit.
Yeah. Now, where'd you learn how to play? You were from LA, right?
From Southern California. I went to UCLA, but I grew up an hour around LA somewhere.
And you're a young guy.
I'm a young guy, 28.
28. Does your mom know you gamble like this? I ask that question to everyone.
My mom knows. She's known for a while. Not at the beginning. I've been doing it for a while, but now she's happy with it.
I bet, yeah. So tell me, were you ever all in with the worst hand yesterday? How many, or during the entire $1,500 buy-in tournament?
Yeah, I was all in with the worst hand, only about 10 or 12 times.
Really? No, seriously. How many times do you think you sucked out?
No, actually, less than 10 or 12, but probably 6 times.
Well, it was the structure was very fast,
That was all
right?
early. Yeah, that was all early when I never was on with the worst hand for more than 10,000 in chips.
Okay. What does it feel like when you get to the final table and you look around and there's some great players at your table? Scott Fishman, the runner-up to you in this event, won it last year. We know he's a great player. You also had David Olliott. Who did you fear at the final table the most, if anyone?
I was really in pretty good shape. The 2 toughest guys were maybe Scott Fishman and David Olliott, and they were both on my right, so I was kind of good.
Yeah.
Sort of the 2 amateur guys were on my left, and they were somewhat easy to play against, so I was in a pretty good position, and I was really just comfortable and just was not worrying or stressing out, and I just was on my game the whole time.
Right.
So.
But even at the final table, I mean, I saw the blind structure in the final table. It didn't look like the average stack was much more than about 25 or 30 big blinds, even at the final table. Is that right?
That's The stacks were medium for a tournament. The blinds weren't too high or too low. It was about average. And I was never feeling too pressured because I
came in with the chip lead, right?
I might not have been totally objective about it.
But it seemed like a short stack tournament. I mean, I was here with 100 people left and watching some of the action, and the average stack size with 100 people left was like 22 big blinds with the ante. So I mean, averaged out, that's like 18. That for me is that's almost approaching where everyone at the table is short stacked.
That's right. The tournament went through several periods of where everyone was short stacked, and then a lot of people would go broke, and then people had decent stacks again, and then you lose 10 more people, or a couple hours later, then people are short stacked again. So yeah, at times there were a lot of short stacks unless you had a really big stack.
When you get to the final table, do you think anything other than win, or do you think maybe I want to move up a spot, or it's not time to gamble right now because the guy in third place is just about to go out. I don't really want to blow it. I want to at least guarantee myself second place. Do you have any thoughts like that, or are you just thinking bracelet?
No, I'm not just thinking bracelet. I'm thinking towards all the places and trying to maximize my money.
Okay.
But for the most part, I'm just playing my normal poker game unless something really bizarre comes up where I think I should play a hand a little bit differently because there's like 3 people left and one extremely short stack or something like that. But right. I do keep it in mind.
Okay. Because I don't. When I get to the final table, and that happens very rarely, much rarer than for Alan Cunningham, I might add, I just think win. I don't.
Right.
I know that I cost myself money there, but there are two approaches.
I don't give up too much win for anything else. But if it's not going to cost me too much, then I might just try to make one spot higher or something.
So where do you keep your bracelets?
I keep them in a drawer at home.
In a drawer at home. In L.A.?
In L.A., yeah.
All right. Now, you played the $2,500 buy-in six-handed game, and it didn't go so well for you this time. What happened to you today?
No, I was out in an hour and a half. I really just never really settled down. When I was playing the no limit, at least for the last 2.5 days, my adrenaline was zero, and I was completely settled and almost bored the whole time and just really on my game and everything. This morning I sat down and I just had my coffee and I was a little bit antsy and my adrenaline was going a little bit too much. Everyone was talking to me. And I had lost maybe 1,000 out of my 2,500, and my last hand I had 2 aces with the jack kicker, and somebody raised me on the flop. And my instinct sort of told me it was no good. I was getting kind of a decent price to call on my land, and I just was a little bit too antsy to just not gamble and see if I had the best hand, and I didn't. He had an ace-king. So I don't know. I guess I need a couple days to settle down after the big win.
Well, how do you're playing most of the other events, I imagine?
I might or might not. I'm not sure.
What would keep you from playing?
Depending on what the cash games are looking like at the block show.
And is it okay for me to ask what size cash game you're playing over there?
I usually play 4 and 800 or higher if the games are looking juicy.
Yeah, are they juicy right now?
I don't know. I've been in the tournament all the time.
But for the most part, the games are pretty good.
They often are during the big tournaments, so I plan on checking them out. If there's not much going, then I'll play most of the tournaments.
All right, that's Alan Cunningham, 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. Congratulations, Alan. You can play with Alan online at fulltiltpoker.com if you get a chance. He plays under his own name. I would not suggest, however, sitting in the big cash game with one of the best cash game and poker players in the world. Alan Cunningham, thanks.
All right.
Thanks. All right, we're at the 4th level, at the end of the 4th level in the 2,500 six-handed. I've got about 8,500 in chips. I have not picked up any hands the entire day, nothing higher than pocket tens. Never had ace-king, never had ace-queen, one time the whole day. It's been very frustrating, but somehow I've managed to more than double my stack. I'm about average right now. Some real maniacs at the table that are way overbetting the pot. So the idea against them, of course, is to get in cheap and hope they make a big mistake. There are 3 or 4 players at the table, 3 players at the table that can double me up for sure. All the easy money is gone from the table, unfortunately. I've had 2 really, really bad suckouts against me where I had top 2 pair and guy had top and bottom pair and got lucky and caught a full house against me, and then another guy caught a flush after he was all in for another $4,000 pot. So I could easily have 15 or 16,000, but it's useless to think about that kind of thing right now. All you can do is think about the chips that you do have and the strategy that will get more of them. Very quickly in this tournament, the blinds are going to increase. I think when we get back, it's 150, 300, or maybe even 200, 400, or 100, 200 with an ante. But at any rate, the blinds are going to increase rather substantially, and it's a good time to try to steal some blinds, I think, and during this next level and try to make a move. There's still 190 players left. very, very good players left in the field. My buddy Ray First is still in. Daniel Negreanu has a big stack, and Greg Raymer has like 25,000 right now. He's going to be very tough to beat in this event with that many chips at this point. He plays a very, very good, aggressive, tall stack. Anyway, more from the table in just a little while. Well, guess what? It's 114 players remaining. I just busted out at ace-king suited against 2 9s. And I never picked up a hand all day. That's the first time I had ace-king all day. I raised on the button, playing 5-handed. Guy moved in on me. I had to call. I had only had 4,500 total, so it was an easy call there. Win that pot, I'm in good shape, but those are the unlucky things that happen at the poker table sometimes. You know, you get your money in, you do your best, and it's not to be. Still quite a few great players left. I see Daniel Negreanu still in the field. I see Greg Raymer still has a ton of chips. Mike Mattisau is in complete control. He's got about 22,000. Well, anytime I say Mike Mattisau is in complete control, that's pretty much a oxymoron. He's never really in control. But right now he's playing pretty well. And yeah, I don't think I played anything too miserably poorly today. I might have gotten out of line one time, one hand that I would take back if I could, but it wasn't a really significant portion of my stack. Definitely did not have my fair share of luck, though. And these tournaments with 500-600 people require that kind of luck. All right, I'm off to find a few interviewees and visit the Full Tilt Poker Suite, and then post this mother to the web. Thanks, guys. Thanks for downloading my World Series of Poker podcast. Tune in every day for more insight and fun from the Rio in Las Vegas. This is Phil Gordon. For more information, visit my website, www.expertinsight.com.